And another opinion I have is that this board's thrown Dr. Hunt under the bus, so to speak. You guys referred repeatedly to Dr. Hunt's list of job cuts, and it's this board's actions that have required Dr. Hunt to make these lists.
I want to know why in the world you have to borrow money. Then you talk about that as a big issue, and then you end the fund balance with $1 million. And that's what you're going to do. You hadn't talked about that. But at the end of this June 30th, you're going to add $1 million to the surplus.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Last week, I was appalled at the behavior of our board, from a chairman who watched his stopwatch more than listened to Mr. Trotter and others who asked more than once what they were voting on.
Nancy, you're up.
I've heard lots of talk about numbers. Well, I don't teach numbers. I teach children. I teach human beings who have needs, hopes, desires, dreams, and in many cases, lots of emotional baggage.
I'm Don Lundquist. I'm on the School Improvement Council of Pickens High and Pickens Middle. And I'll tell you what, I've been going to school board meetings for the last 10 years, and I've watched our district climb and reach for the stars, and I'm now watching the district fall apart. And it's all about money. It isn't about kids. The most important people who live in this county are 18 years old and under, and the rest of us don't count. And we've got to do something. To take away resource officers, I'm sorry, folks, but that's dumb. And as far as the dead wood in the district office, there is no dead wood in the district office. And people who get elected to that seat that you're sitting on, if you've promised your constituents, oh, I'm going to take and cut the district office, well, that's politics. And you don't belong in a school board if you're going to play politics.
Thank you. Thank
you. You've never been an educator, so I did a little research on you. And I found something that very much impressed on me. On December 22nd, 2005, you responded to a thread online, tried and tested Alex Saitta of the Solomon Brothers. You stated, and I quote, "I'm totally out of the markets and into local politics." That states a mouthful to me. See, this isn't politics. To me, this is my children's safety and future. It is not yours. That said, I'd like to inform you that I'm moving for legislation to be changed on what it takes to sit in the seat that you're sitting in, sir. Okay. I did my research and also found a few things that federally that you'd all like to be informed of. You will be held legally responsible if one of my children get hurt. And even behind closed doors, sir, you'll be held accountable to God.
It's about the children. And if you care about these children, you will not close Simpson and you will not do a budget cut.
Thank you.
My name's Dennis Reiner. And frankly, I'm a bit disappointed. I've heard a lot of whining. I expected more from people like this. I've heard a lot of whining and personal attacks. But where are the solutions? The budget is short. The money isn't there. This doesn't take a rocket scientist. In fact, if you had all been to the school board meetings, and I know most of you haven't because I'm there, and you had been to the business sessions, you'd have heard the same warning month after month, year after year. Cut the budget. Make the cuts. Make the hard decisions now. The hard times are coming. Nobody wanted to listen. As long as the school board was giving the administration everything they wanted, everybody's happy and singing the praises of the wonderful school board. Now when the predicted hard decisions come up, everybody's a villain.
Since our last election, I've seen our board's dynamics change dramatically. It appears that some of our board members are more interested in representing a special interest group instead of representing our students, employees, and parents of the community. That's why you see such a big crowd here tonight. Some of our board members are committed to making permanent cuts. I'm not in favor of permanent cuts. Permanent cuts are not the answer, and we have other options. This situation seems more about taking advantage of our current economic situation to fulfill campaign promises and your personal goals.
And now what goes around comes around. You're in here crying foul because they're doing the same thing to you that you're doing to the kids. When you go to church on Sunday, if the pastor uses the word hypocrite, you listen. And you guys have not seen an unbalanced budget if you guys are going to cut the resources that they need to do special ed right.
Thank you, Dan, very much. What's your name? You, Laura?
Linda Cantrell.
Linda, okay, Linda.
There's a rumor in the community that there are certain members of the board who do not support Dr. Hunt, and at this premature and inopportune time have made plans to replace him at the end of June. In the court system, as well as most corporate and democratic entities, there is an uneven number of members or people to ensure a fair and unbiased vote. I would ask that the board appoint or put in place a seventh member before casting a vote. This would correct the flawed structure of the voting and make it possible for a fair and democratic process to take place. There's a concern that the actions being taken by certain members of the board are influenced by politics rather than facts. I would ask that when you, the board, vote on the issues, you vote based what is best for our children and the students of Pickens County rather than any political motivations or aspirations you may have.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Cassandra Thomason.
I'm sorry.
And I'm a paying tax person as everyone else is in this room. I have 6 children, 2 that I've brought from Greenville County Schools to bring to Pickens County Schools because I know the importance of Pickens County Schools because I actually went to school there. And now with this one, I am actually having to debate whether or not I'm going to send him to Greenville County because you don't seem like you have any sense. You're wanting to do something that makes no sense. And this, we know how to balance our own budget. When you add the a couple of years ago when you wanted to get the money for the schools and everybody in Pickens County voted against it and said no, you went ahead and backdoored us and did it anyway. Well, if you want to know, children and money are very important to us. And if you don't want to see an early retirement, like Mr. B.J. Skeleton, keep doing what you're doing and we'll replace all of you.
Thank you. Jim Rook. It's got a board member that wants to speak, and he'll be the last speaker.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, the action before us tonight is perhaps the most important action taken during my service on this board. This action will clearly define the direction of our school district for years to come. This action has a chance of being practical and forward-thinking, or will be seen as both political and punitive. What I will tell you tonight is based solely on fact, not conjecture, theory, political posturing, and certainly not vitriol and hyperbole. I will offer a pragmatic, well-considered option to moving this district forward and not regressing into an abyss that will surely do long-term damage to our core function. Next Monday marks the 150th anniversary of the first shot fired in the War of Northern Aggression. How fitting is it that in the town of Liberty, the people of Pickens County, South Carolina, fired the first shots for our fight in liberty from Northern aggression. So tonight, here on Main Street in Liberty, we joined the battle against Wall Street, New York.
Thank you very much. Your time's up.
And I thank every one of you humbly for the opportunity to serve publicly.
All right. You guys want to say anything?